Oh hey, let's make some today. Alright, we're using this pre-finished wood for this project from Smoky Hills. We masked the back of it to limit any of the char on the back. The reason we're using this pre-finished wood is because nobody has time for sanding or staining or finishing. We just need this to work for all these little bits. Alright, our pre-finished wood is loaded and ready to go. Let's cut some snakes. It's a snake. Alright, give this a little spritz. Spritz, 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 spritz. And clean them snakes. Alright, we got our snakes all cleaned up and we got a bowl of snakes ready to be made into earrings. So this is the mock-up that I did of the snake earring, and you know, it was cool on its own, but we wanted something kind of super special and looked handmade. So I made this little copper dangle with a bead on it, and looks complicated, but super easy to do with some of the tools. So let's get to that. All right, so what we're gonna need is just some basic tools. Got, you know, a little pair of jewelry, pliers, flush cutter, something to kind of wrap some wire around. This is some 18 gauge wire. And then I had a little ball peen hammer and a piece of steel sitting around too. So that'll add a little bit of niceness to it. All right, we are ready to assemble some earrings. So I'm gonna take, firstly, some of this 18 gauge wire, and I'm gonna cut about 3 inches of it. Okay. Yeah, perfect. All right, for the beads, I had these little crackle agates sitting around, and I thought they looked pretty nice with these snake earrings. So first thing I'm gonna do is make a little tail on the end of this. Got some little pliers that I can just fold this end over. I'm gonna make a little coil on the end that goes on itself, maybe, just like that. So maybe loop it around once. To make it look nice and work hard in it, you know, you can take a little ball peen hammer and just flatten it out a little bit. It gives it a nice finish. But the other thing it does, it work hardens it, so it's a lot less likely to bend. Okay, next we're gonna take the bead, put it right on that 18 gauge wire. Well, most beads will fit over an 18 gauge. And then I've got these pliers that have a little bit bigger loop on them. So then I make my other loop, goes all the way around. And that's the part that's gonna go in the earring. I'm gonna work harden this one a little bit too. Pretty easy, just hammer the top. And nothing too crazy. Literally just flattening that top a little bit. Okay, time to put the snake on. Okay. Just slides right on. And then with your fingers, you can start to loop this around. Go 1, 2, 3 or so. Okay, and then for the last bit, you can take some pliers and push that end right into the bead there. Okay, if there's nothing you like, you can clean it up a little, like I'm doing with the pliers. It actually looks pretty good right there. Okay. And that is almost it. Last thing. Take the earring, loop on there, and we've got one finished product. I know it seems like work, but once you get this down and you've done it you know, 3 or 4 times and get a system. It goes really fast. I would call this Netflix work, so you can just put something on to binge and crank out, you know, a dozen of these in a show. But anyway, hopefully you guys like the tutorial on that, and yeah, keep making, guys.